Financial freedom is not necessarily having millions. Stop living beyond your means and you're financially free. Even if you're earning 10 grand and your expenses go up to 7 grand a month, you're already financially free. You can just keep learning ways on how you can start earning more by leveraging your time versus the little bit of money you keep earning, and investing the 3 grand, because you probably are using 7 grand with all your expenses, including entertainment, groceries at home, transport, etc. But at least every month, kusala 3,000 rands, and you're comfortable with that, you're already financially free. What you gotta do is to start finding out ways on how that 3 grand can not only be saved, but how do you put it to work so that it becomes 3.1, so that it becomes 3.2, so that it becomes 3.3, so that a year later it becomes 4,000, it becomes 5,000, it becomes 6,000. How do you put it to work? And where do you put it to work? And where can you make 3,000 grow? How do you make 3,000 grow? So that as you keep grinding, exchanging your time for money, you are able to not do that for the rest of your life. You are able to keep living this comfortable life because you're not living beyond your means, but you're putting that 3,000 rands to work so that in a few years' time, the 3 grand can start becoming another 10 grand. So you can eventually leave exchanging your time for money, and you can focus the side where probably where you put it to work is a business, or where you put it to work, you probably bought a cell phone with it, and you can start creating content like this, and you can start making money on YouTube, creating content on TikTok, creating content on Facebook, monetizing your Facebook, monetizing your TikTok, finding out ways on how to make money on ClickBank, how to make money on Take-A-Lot, how to make money in other ways that are out there. You probably invested this 3,000 rands into starting a food business on the side. Mo ape anteng e etsa di plate maybe ka letsatsi se te qetella e kgwetsetsa bo ma 5 clip ka letsatsi ngelanga nje, or it ends up making you 800 bucks a day, 1,000 rands a day. Abantu abathengisa ama plate R10K, they'll tell you that they can even make as much as 3,000 rands per day. How much is that a month? And what are the expenses? And what is net profit in that? If you're somebody who's disciplined and focused, you literally can live a beautiful, financially free life if you're not living beyond your means and you're disciplined with your money. And you obviously want to learn more knowledge about working or making your money work for you by consulting professionals, by reading books, by sitting with financial advisors, by watching different or listening to different podcasts of money or other people, of how they've become wealthy, or of how other people use money to work for them as opposed to them working for money, exchanging their time for money. There's a lot of ways on how you can develop yourself to grow in that knowledge so that you're not only just earning 10 grand a year later, but you're making double that a year later. You're making triple that 2 years later. You're making quadruple that 4 years later. You put Ubers on the road. You renovate you buy a property that you can afford, and you probably get a bond from the bank by being disciplined and making sure that you watch your credit score. Your credit score can take you very far, especially if you're disciplined with finance. That's why I always encourage you guys to consult professionals so they can give you proper financial advice, because I'm not a financial advisor, but what I know is that having a good credit score can be a good enabler for you to start creating generational wealth, even. Not just only financial freedom, but generational wealth. You can use your credit score correctly. So make sure you guard against living beyond your means. You guard against increasing unnecessary expenses. Make sure that you write down your budget. Make sure that you tick every line item. Make sure that you're disciplined with your money making habits or your money spending habits. Actually, if you can, have less money spending habits. Sometimes instead of going out and eating out, you'd rather eat at home. You'd rather buy groceries for the month and cook. You'd rather start a garden at the back of your home and start cooking, making your own food. instead of living far from work where a lot of your money goes into transport, you can live nearer to work and find a place that is next to your workplace. And other people who are clever, they even find land away from Johannesburg. Because in Johannesburg, like a Casinoble property development, for instance, you're going to buy or invest in land from companies like us, starting from 195,000, which is still very, very affordable and cheap for the north of Johannesburg, living at a gated estate. You can actually even spend 5% of that, which is just 10 grand. Or even for 20 grand, you might be shocked you can get a hectare of land emakhaya. Ko Limpopo, High Limpopo, Kapa Ekaya, KZN, noma eMpumalanga, noma Northwest. The far away you are from the cities, the lesser you can get land for in South Africa. You can even speak to chiefs. You can even get some land for free. I know people who've acquired some land for free, and they put that land to use. You can even build there. You can find out how much it'll cost you for you to build some rooms, so you can put in some tenants and raise money. There's a lot of ways on how you can be creative around the little that you're getting by being disciplined, exchanging your time for money, but over time, because you're disciplined, that 3,000 that I was talking about, after your 7,000 rands expenses, if you're getting 10 grand after tax and net profit with your salary every month, that 3 grand 5 years later can become not only 30 grand a month, it's possible for it to become 100,000 rands a month. That is if you're invested in getting as much financial education as possible. That is if you're invested in learning from podcasts and learning from financially knowledgeable people, learning from financial advisors, and just coming up with creative ideas on how you can spend less and over time grow and eventually become wealthy. I've seen a lot of people who do that, but it's people who are dedicated, people who are committed, people who are disciplined, people who are not living beyond their means, people who are very, very careful when it comes to finances, people who don't usually eat out, people who are not crazy about expensive brands. Yes, at a later stage when you start seeing the fruits of your money working for you, then you can acquire assets that can then buy you the nice car. You can acquire assets can then buy you the nice house, or that can buy you the nice clothes. But in the beginning, focus on building and focus on being creative and finding out ways on how you can lessen the burden of you exchanging your time for money, so that at a later stage you are able to reap the fruits of your hard work by having had to build your balance sheet with the bank and having to use good credit from the bank to build your assets or to build generational wealth for yourself. But it takes people with a vision. It takes people with long-term goals. It doesn't take people who are living for tomorrow, who are living for the weekend, who are crazy about going out and buying drinks. And I'm not saying you must now be stingy. No. Usually people who live this type of life are people who've chosen the right partner. It also matters the type of partner that you choose. Because if you don't have the right partner, then your partner can either make you or break you. With your financial decisions and plans for the future, your partner can be counterproductive in what you're planning to do with your life. It's even better if maybe you're still young, you probably don't have a partner yet, you probably don't have kids yet, you probably don't have a lot of expenses yet, but you can have a long-term goal and you're able to be patient and disciplined in building what I'm talking about. Go do more research on it. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you start thinking towards living a financially free life and start thinking about building that generational wealth. This video might not make sense to you now, but over a certain period of time it'll probably make sense, and especially if you're still young. But I know a lot of you guys actually know and can relate to what I'm talking about. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you on the next video.